Everything in today's home remedies is in the book. Harris has the book back there. So everything is in there. Where to start? This is a huge amount of material in this class. Okay. Let's start with getting ourselves energy moving. Okay, everybody stand up. Find a partner. Okay. Wake up. You need a partner now. I can see you, Candace. Come over here, Candace. Be all three. Okay, so you can go. Someone over there. Okay, ready? Get somebody's back, like so. Wake him up. Person behind, bend a little bit. Get your partner's legs. Okay. Both sides. Fists. Bend, bend, bend. Wake your partner up. Wake yourself up while you're bending. This is our first home remedy, by the way. And now, like a cupping sound. Pop, pop, pop. Big vibrations, blood flow, chi moving. Okay, hold your partner's hips. Breathe in and vibrate their body. Not your hands, your body. That's it. Okay, reverse. Okay, chop, chop. Bend, get your legs. Feel your bodies, folks. Then loose fists. Breathing, everybody. Come on in, come on in. And cupping sound. You might need a chair for this. Next door. Sure. Okay. Then hold your partner's hips. And breathe in and you make some noise, folks. Come on. Breathe in. Okay, the last group I forgot to do. Let's do the head. Bend down. Wake up that brain, okay? Loud. Make it loud. Wake him up. Not nice and fluffy. Wake him up a little bit. Just enough to wake him up. And you do yours too. Okay? Just like so. Okay, so now you're awake, right? All right. Okay, everybody keep standing, all right? I'm showing them to Annie. We use this by moving.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, we're going to talk about energy, and as energy applies to home remedies. So, feel your body, put your feet in the earth, those are your roots. Your head's roots go up to the sky above, and we're suspended in between heaven above and earth below. Okay, so after all that tapping, just notice where you feel vibration in your body. You feel vibration more up, maybe after getting your head tapped. Okay, you can breathe. By breathing, you can send the energy down, okay, to the feet. And so the relationship of energy with our body is contained in plants. And we're going to discuss how to use mostly plants to change the energy in the body according to certain symptoms that we might have. Okay? Okay? Have a seat. All right? Great. And so what's going on in our bodies is a reflection of what goes on in the planet and in our environment. So this is my little representation of the planet Earth. You know that kids thing, like a spinning top? where you press down and then it starts to move. Well, that's sort of a representation of what happens with our planet Earth. So heaven's force, gravity pushes down, and then that Earth starts spinning. And then it lets off a complementary force that goes up. So if you imagine that spinning top, that's sort of what we're on. And the shape of them, on my drawing, would be something like this, and then it's got a base at the bottom, something like that. Right. So this part, this middle part, is like the equator. So that's the part where it's big distance is spinning around. So at the equator, it's really different energy than when we're at the poles, North Pole or South Pole. And so we could look at our bodies in relationship to North Pole and South Pole. And that's where the chakra system comes in, yeah? You all know about the chakras, right? So the North Pole is your, what do you call that chakra? Crown chakra. South Pole is your, what's it called? Root chakra, right? And then we have all these other centers. And what's the center of the 7 chakras? The heart is the equator. Does that make sense? So we wonder why heart and relationships are so important. That's our equator. So we can make energies move up from the equator, down from the equator. Yeah. So think of that when you're applying foods to a person's condition. Now, we're going to go through that today. We're going to show some examples. Anybody have any questions about that? So people who live close to the equator, it's really vibrant energy, right? It's a kind of wild energy. People who live in the North Pole are a little more stable, have to be more stable and practical, same with South Pole. And then there's plenty of room for variation in between. Okay. So let's show this on 2 people. I need a male and a female. Because you may have heard that males and females are different. And we need your chair too, though. Or just switch chair. And we need a male.
Okay.
Come on in. Can you grab one? You can get it later. Get it in a bit.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if
You don't need it right. Okay. Can you see if we're on camera? Okay, so have a seat on the edge of your chair. And I also need like something like what you're wearing, some kind of a metal crystal or more. The more metal it is, the better. Because metal conducts electricity. Okay, great.
Okay.
So you folks know each other?
No.
Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, great. So let's see how their poles are different. Okay. Now, it's Jeff, right? So look down. Remember, those of you who are in body reading, remember the spiral on the top of the head? That's the crown chakra. Okay, so his is really easy to find. Sit up, nice and straight. So heaven's force and Earth's force move through your body. And then I'm going to see, very neutral when I do this. Oh, thank goodness. Can you see that? Which way?
Neutral.
You think it's neutral?
From
Which
this
way is it
side.
rotating?
From this side, it looks like it's just going.
It's rotating in a circle.
Oh, okay. From this one.
Which way is that circle?
Counterclockwise.
Counterclockwise. Now don't look anymore. Now, I'm hoping that her ponytail is where she's gathering all her heaven's force. It's interesting, right? Women have a ponytail and they gather all their heaven's force up there. Let's see. So if I go away from the poles, so if I go here, yes, she's working the way most people work. And there's lots of exceptions to this, although I haven't seen that many. So there's no circle. It just goes forward and back. But once I find wherever her crown chakra is, she must have it. There it is, right at the ponytail. She starts to go. Breathe, give us a breath here. That's it. Clockwise. Okay? Now this could be sleight of hand, whatever you, it's fine, but please practice this at home. You can actually hang it from something metal so you don't get the human factor in there. You can double blind this and see if it works for you. Okay, okay, let's see if you're still. So it is believed that man's outer body, and there's plenty of variation on the inner body, but the outer body is more influenced by heaven's downward force, which in the northern hemisphere goes counterclockwise. And he's really showing, it's just not that beard. He, according to this ancient theory and ancient understanding of energy, is showing us that he is a male. At least his outer structure. I don't know about his brain or psychology, any of that. This is just outer structure. And the other chakras usually change because they're more internal, but these are the more external chakras, the top ones. And by the way, if we went to the southern hemisphere, this would be completely opposite. Okay? So let's just stick with the northern hemisphere. Okay, so your chakra's really moving. So it's a great demonstration. Like I just put it up there, and he's just going clockwise. Okay. Did you sleep well last night?
I did actually.
Yeah. So his energy's moving. Okay, without moving your head, Jeff, I'd like you to hold hands with Danielle. Okay? Don't move your head. Okay? And get relaxed. Breathe. Feel your energies connecting with your hands. What happens?
She's taking over.
What happens when a counterclockwise and a clockwise wave meet?
Wow. Neutral.
Neutrality. Okay. So you know what you call this? Neutrality? Instead of calling it neutrality, what else do you call it?
Balance.
Love.
Oh, yeah.
This is love. If you want to check whether you can really fall in love with your partner, do this test. So it has some potential. Okay? Thank them very much. And you get this back. Okay? There are some couples, male, female, female, female. There's always going to be polarities, whatever they are. Sometimes it doesn't stop. Okay? So that's a sign for therapy, okay?
Yeah.
Relationship counseling.
That would be a sign that that's not a good partner for you.
Well,
Because they don't.
there's never a moment of peace. If there's constant polarity, there's constant movement, then there's no peace. And that's what we want in relationships. We want to find some peace, some balance, right? Okay. All right. So we're going to see how we can affect the body using different foods and remedies. Now, typically when somebody's having a reaction in their life, a symptomatic reaction, then remedies are used to change the balance. so that that symptom will go away. So today's class is a little bit more about how to turn it around, a symptom, rather than find the cause, although that is also very important. So there's the symptom, that's the surface, and then there's the root causes, which other classes are more involved in. So how did they get to that point? How did they get to that point that that symptom is screaming out of their body saying, help, help, help? Right? They're all based on the same forces. Okay, so before we do that, before we start looking at plants and different remedies to do that, from the Chinese perspective, when this balance was off with an individual, then the first intervention is meditation. And that might mean a lot of things to you. I'll also say it's reflection. So quiet the brain, go in nature, get away from the chaos, and quiet down and find, through inquiring within, how to change our lives. Knowing that the forces of downward and upward, heavens and earth forces are up, what is it about my life that's having this symptom? What can I change to help me get back to balance? So this was the first intervention that people would do on their own. Go off in nature and relax. Any of you ever do that? Feeling stressed out, go by the ocean, get away from all the noise, okay? Very, very important. 2, the heavens and earth's forces manifest differently in different places on the planet. Yeah? Equator, North Pole, South Pole, and everywhere in between. So people would look at what was then called geomancy. So earth relationship. So where my house is, where my body is, where I sleep, where our town is, connected to the forces of heaven and earth, so that by influencing myself, I might be in better harmony with the geographical location of where I am and the geography within our home, connected to the land outside. So this was called geomancy. So if someone's always getting colds, and they're wondering why we moved to this new house, and I'm getting colds all of a sudden. Wow, what's going on? They would look at, well, where are the windows? Yeah? Oh, I'm sleeping in a north-facing window, and the wind comes in, and it's cold in the north direction. No wonder I'm getting too much cold, and my head is right by the north window. So if I move my head when I sleep, I'll be in a warmer part of the room, and then maybe I won't be so susceptible to these forces. And now, in modern times, geomancy is no longer called geomancy. It's called what? Feng shui. Okay? Feng shui, water, wind, water, means harmonizing ourselves with the environment. Okay? So geomancy. So each individual with their environment. 3 was constellational influences, which is now called astrology. Commercialized name. Yeah. For at the time that a person was born, there are certain energies, heaven's force and earth's force, that were more predominant. Or there was a predominance of those heavens and earth's forces in certain times of the month in the womb. So when we were conceived, there was more heaven's force. In winter, there was more earth's force. In summer, that will affect the individual nature of the child. So now we're looking at heavens and earth's forces in relation to individual tendencies of each person. Okay? Next. What was the next thing?
I'm sorry, what was the I for?
Constellational influences? Or it's summer. So I'm going to dress differently than I do in winter, right? That's a constellational influence. Okay? And the more those systems were looked at and observed, the different astrological systems came from that. All right, so then, let's say this person still is getting colds, or they're still having their symptom. They reflected, they changed something, they moved to another bedroom, they looked at their own individual tendencies in their life based on their constitution. And still, maybe things are a little bit better, but they're still getting their symptoms. So what would be next?
Diet.
Food's on this list for sure. Food's definitely on this list. What's more important than food?
Water. Air.
Air is more important than food. Relationships. And these are all relationships, actually. The relationship that starts with the cell. Okay? So yes, it is exercise which / means breathing. So now, different exercises like Qi type of exercises and yoga type of exercises came out. All right, I've got to start moving my Qi in a different way. So this is, from the Chinese perspective, is the beginning of a type of Qi and East Indian prana. And those of you in Martine's class, Mana. So every culture has some word for moving the energy force. And that's something like we said. Heavens and earth's forces collide, make vibrations that make energy. Okay. So exercise is really, really important. It aligns the body, gets the qi moving. Just when we were doing a little tapping, you feel better, right? Your circulation's moving, you feel better. Okay, fine. Now, at this point, it still hasn't changed. I'm sure it got a little bit better. And that symptom is continuing to happen. Now it's nutrition, food. So what foods, based on the forces of heaven and earth, could I use to change my symptoms? So if the person is coughing and sneezing, those usually come along with a cold, right? Or any other symptoms that might go along with a cold?
Fever.
Fever. Which?
Body aches.
Body aches and pains might go along with it, yeah. Sensitivity. And knowing where those are. Some people have more of an intestinal cold. Some people would have more of a throat cold or a sinus. It could be a little different for each person. You can tell actually by the way someone coughs. Like if someone's coughing, it's different than, right? So one person's got an intestinal cough, even though it's all called a cold. Another person is just maybe in this area. So that would tell us what kind of food recommendations would help this or just this, or send the energy from here down or up. We're going to look at all that. Right? So foods. And this would also include herbs. In the beginning, there was no difference between herbs and foods, right? In these old days, it was just, the plants. So we used plants, and some had more extreme effects than others do. But in this method here, these are actually called the 8 pillars. In the 8 pillars, these would be more tonic herbs. So these are herbs that you take that over a certain period of time actually strengthen the inner immune system or strengthen the cardiovascular system or whatever system it is that you know is the source of, in this case, the cold. And so these are not quick fix type of herbs. These are taken over a long period of time will make a difference. Astragalus is one of my favorite. Over a 2 to 3 month period of time, it really helps the whole immune system, the lungs, and the blood sugar level for a lot of people. It really helps for a lot of people to just strengthen the inside of the body so that we're less easily influenced by external factors. So that's one example. What's another example of a plant you could think of that would really help adaptability and the ability to persevere in almost any climate? Almost any climate. A plant, you've all seen it. It grows just about everywhere.
Ginger.
Ginger doesn't grow everywhere. No.
Plenty.
Dandelion. There's dandelions. Do you have dandelions where you're from? The little furry, yeah? Some people's from a very, very warm place near the equator. Dandelions, they grow everywhere. So they have this ability to adapt to almost any environment. So that means any environment that we would expose ourselves to, having eaten dandelion for a certain period of time, we could adapt ourselves to any environment. Okay? So some of you have salad, right? And there's dandelion greens. You put dandelion greens in your salad. Okay? Typical example. And just, the root might be a little bit helping the lower part of the body, which we'll get into in a moment. And then the leaves would help more the upper part of the body in creating that adaptability. We'll get into that in a minute. Okay, so you would think that doing all of this would help, right?
For some cases.
But in modern society, people don't do this, right? People don't do these, do they? So what do we do after this?
Sleep.
That might have something to do. Sleep would actually probably be categorized in here, because when we exercise well, we sleep better. So this is actually a broader category would be our activity level, like what in our activity. So exercise affects our activity level, how we're doing our work. That would be more than this number 4. Our sleep, our yin and yang, our sleep and activity level is here. The next is the start of interventions from other people. And that's why you're all going to school here. Because people want to pay you to intervene because they haven't figured out how to do this on their own. So they're coming to a practitioner to help them get back to balance. So our school, although we teach you these, because we want you to help to educate your clients, this is probably, from this point, is why most people are coming, because they couldn't work it out on their own, so they need some help. Okay. And we have massage. So people come for massage. The person will manipulate the energy flow of the body so that the body goes, oh, right, that's what I'm supposed to do. Thank you for helping me remember. Everything's back in line. My energy meridians are flowing right. And now I feel better. What if that wasn't enough? Oh, I felt good right after, but the next day, here it comes again. So what's next? Chinese.
Like acupuncture or something?
Acupuncture. Acupuncture. And acupuncture is not, I just learned this last week, is not the actual translation for the characters that are used to describe acupuncture, right? The Chinese characters. The Chinese characters for acupuncture actually mean heat and needles. Heat was more of a yang influence, needles, being metal, is more of a cooling influence. And somehow it got translated into acupuncture. So now those needles and those heat treatments, and we're going to show you some of those heat treatments, will actually make a big shift, a much bigger shift right now, like today, in the moment, than all these other ones. You can reflect. It might make a longer term change that's maybe more important, but today, anybody been to acupuncture?
Mm-hmm.
You feel that needle and zoom,
Mm-hmm.
something's going through your body and there's a shift. So your energy can be moved. It can be sedated, it can be dispersed, it can be tonified, all through the use of heat and needles. So and originally they were stones. Stones were actually used. So your stone therapy is actually a very traditional remedy. And sharper stones were used on the little points. Okay? And then the last one was medicine. Now these are medicinal herbs, and this is the beginning of the medicine that we have today. So these are stronger herbs, herbs that would make a big difference right now. Take it and you know about it. Have you ever taken an herb where 5 minutes later you go, whoa, what's that would happen? Something changed. So these are stronger herbs, and they also may have side effects. Yeah? Herbs. Yeah? Medicinal herbs. And especially if those herbs are concentrated, taken out of the plant, or maybe even synthesized chemically and concentrated, those will make a huge impact on the body. That could, while it might help in a moment, which could be helpful for your life, right? So like Western medicine, herbs, medicines, they can actually save a life. If it's continued for too long, it could destroy your life. So there is some use for these strong herbs as long as we start backing up a little bit, okay? And start changing our life, right? So keep this in mind. Any questions on that? And the traditional doctor of the village was given money to keep people well. I'm sure you've heard this. It's a common story in holistic medicine. They were given things, a home and a place to live and whatever that was used in those times by the village, providing that person who understood heavens and earth's force and understood what was going on with each person, they would be able to keep the village healthy. So that was the original shaman or medicine person. I mean, that's really a little bit more of what we do in the holistic field. We're helping people, we're educating people to be healthy. Okay? Right. So let's just look at the human first. Imagine this is a human. In relationship to the plant. So you all know what a carrot looks like. It looks much different than what I'm drawing. But a carrot goes down into the earth, right? And then it's got another part that goes up. Yeah? Okay. So the downward part affects energies that go down in the body, or that need to go down in the body. But there's a complementary relationship to the root, to our roots of our torso, which is more in here. Whereas the leaf will affect more of the upper part of the body. So that's the same in any plant. The roots have an affinity to the lower part, and the stems and leaves are growing up, right? Their energy grows up, and so it affects the upper part. So a lot of liver tonics, livers in this area, a lot of times stems and leaves are used for the liver. Whereas for the intestines or reproductive organs, which are lower, more roots are used. But that's probably the most common, called signature way of using plants. Can you think of an exception to that? Yes?
I thought carrots were good for your eyes.
Carrots good for your eyes. And why is that?
Carotene.
Yeah, so
Keratin?
yeah, so because of carotene, beta carotene, it was discovered that a certain amount of beta carotene produces vitamin A and helps the eye. So that was a later discovery, not a traditional discovery. Okay? We're onto something though energetically. Even if we don't know that information. Go ahead.
What about OSHA? Is that a root that's good for your lungs?
It's another root good for your lung. Okay, let's stick with the head and the eyes, okay, because it's more obvious. So why would a carrot be recommended for the eyes? The carrot goes down into the earth and the eyes are up. Why would that word energetically?
Because
For any, let's just say any symptom in the head. What are some other head symptoms that happen here?
headaches,
Headaches. What else?
earache,
Earaches. Do you have an answer on it?
I think so.
Okay, go ahead. What's the answer?
It helps ground all of the thinking and all the stuff up
It
there.
helps to ground too much going on here. It helps to bring down all of this chaos and focuses the energy. So that's an example of using an opposite part of the plant to harmonize a part of the body that's different than its signature. Okay? So that's our job as practitioners to go, what's going on with this person? Okay? And from this perspective, carrots might not help every eye situation, even though there is beta carotene. Because if the energy needs to go a different way, then the root of the carrot may not be the way to go. Maybe the leaves of the carrot, and chlorophyll, and vitamin C might be better for the eyes or the headaches, depending on which way the energy would move. Okay? So like right now in your body, just take a look. So just feel your energy. Like, can you feel vibration in your body? The more we can feel vibration in our own bodies, the more we're going to be able to assess it in other people. Okay, so where do you feel? Like, what's going on? You feel? Like, go ahead. Where is it? You feel your legs at all? You're all sitting. You know what I mean? Like maybe the legs need a little movement right now. Okay. You feel more up here. You're listening up here. Maybe the energy's rising up here. Okay? And so that's what we do, rather than just recommend remedies because it says in a book that they help the bladder, or they help the eyes, or they help this or that. We go, what's going on with the person? Okay, very, very important. So assessment from a holistic perspective is so, so important. Any questions on that? And then, and this was known intuitively, this kind of information. So people understood that intuitively because most of the traditional home remedies were found just because they worked. So they worked, and people took a moment, reflected, and go, oh, that makes sense. It's a root, it's yang, or it's yin, or whatever their terminology they use. And it sort of made sense after the fact. But if the herb you're talking about, osha, if it works for the lungs, it's because it works. And if it works, use it. And maybe after we can tune in and go, oh, let me see. Maybe it does help to bring the fluid down from the lungs because it is a root. And maybe the lungs have too much fluid there, like emphysema or something like that. And you can probably find a logical answer. So most of these remedies were actually based on because they worked, and then after the fact, people reflected and made up these theories, which so far I think they make sense, right? So it was experience, not experiment, experience. Okay, any other questions on that? And in the book there's lots of examples of roots and leaves. Okay, so I'm going to go very briefly into the other energetic that I like very much. Of course, the 5 elements, and most of you have been to my classes. We're going to do this very, very briefly. So besides there just being down and up, there's these 5 movements. And we have flowing winter movement. We have the, what's the next one? Since you've heard it so many times. What's that before? Rising spring energy. Yeah, what's one after spring? You know the season.
Fiery.
Radiating, fiery light energy, yeah. And then we have grounding, yes. So that's early fall, grounding. And then we have finishing with gathering to completion is metal. Okay? So the seasons, we have a hibernation season, we have a get up and go season, we have a go wild and crazy season, then we have a get grounded and down to earth season, and then we have a completion harvest time season. So those aspects of our life are important. Some people, remember if we go back to the constellational influences, some people might be more of a fiery type. Anybody you know? Robin Williams, may he rest in peace. Very fiery type. Right? Anybody you know that's more of a gathering, down to earth, very solid, says it, they do it, they organize, they mean it. Do you know anybody like that? Not too many, right? Parents, yeah. You think of our parents. Especially in Southern California.
I was going to say, not in this area if you went.
The further south and generally west you go, the more fiery people are. The more unpredictable they become. It's just the way it is.
South too?
South and west. The more south you go, and the more west generally. Like anybody ever been to Hawaii or Tahiti? People are like, whatever. Am I going to be there? I don't know. Maybe. Or Mexican, but the mañana kind of that consciousness. Mañana, tomorrow. But in Alaska, you don't have time to wait till tomorrow because you got to be practical. It's cold. You got to build something. You got to make something. You got to do it today. There's no time to just go whatever. And so different climates affect different people in different ways. All right. So let's do the signature planets for these different areas. All right. So, the grain for winter energy, for flowing energy, for being adaptable, is buckwheat and oats. Those are the most warming grains. So they make the body warm, that helps to filter the blood, that helps us to sleep soundly. How soundly can you sleep if you're cold? Not at all, right? That's why we huddle up and we put blankets on. Because in that cosmic state of sleep, where the subconscious body is regenerating us, you need warmth. So if there's difficulties in this area, then those warming grains are important. And more warming food is important. And in this cosmology, there's no good or bad, oh, it's good to do this, or it's bad to do that. It's based on the person, based on the person's needs. So a big topic is, well, you're not eating enough raw foods, you're not eating enough cooked foods. Cooked foods are bad, they're denatured. Raw foods have all that fresh energy. From this perspective, there's advantages to both. And each person finds what works for their body. For a colder type, what might be better? Cooked or raw?
Cooked.
Even in this climate, they might still need a little more cooked. Like if it's, are you eating more salads now?
Mm-hmm.
In this hot weather? If you just want to have raw salad, right? You want to have colder foods at this kind of heat, right? Yeah, cooked, rains over a pot. Oh, it's heavy. It's too warming. Okay? So that's just use of nature, connecting our lives with nature. Right? Okay, so if you are cooking grains, then those are specific for the reproductive kidney bladder winter organs. Okay? Reproductive kidney bladder organs. Reproductive organs produce reproductive cells, and from the Asian perspective, they're the foundation for all the cells' reproductive power. So it's not just the reproductive cells. This is the storage place for all the energy that reproduces healthy cells. So you have lung cells and you have brain cells. It's believed that this energy is the source for all the different type of cells reproduction, not just the reproductive organs. Okay, and then the signature plant for the kidneys and this whole system are beans, legumes, beans. They look like a kidney. Right? Right, so they're considered the signature plant. So we're animal quality. There's something in the vegetable kingdom that complements our bodies. In this case, it's the beans complement the kidney system. Okay, rising energy. The grains are more cooling grains, like barley. Spring wheat, you've heard of spring wheat? The signature food is the mushroom. Where do mushrooms grow? A lot of times they grow on trees. They don't have their own ability to photosynthesize like trees do and other plants. So they use other plants. So they grow on trees. Okay? So they have a lot of tree energy in them, right? If it grows on a tree, then it contains a lot of that rising energy. And it's in a very, very concentrated form. So that's why you're seeing a lot about how mushrooms are very, very healing food, and there's a lot of supplements, the maitake and shiitake mushrooms. And the source of that healing power is the energetics of what the liver does. What does the liver do physiologically? It which?
Cleanses.
It cleanses.
Detox.
Okay. Is that all it does? These folks need some anatomy. What does the liver do? Come on. You didn't study liver much? Liver does a lot. Come on, give me at least one other function. It does about 589. Come on, you know what? What's a liver function? What does it help you with?
Detoxing things.
Fats. Helps with fats, detoxification. A lot of different functions. So almost 600 functions. And it does in 450 different functions every minute. So the liver, your liver right now, my liver right now, everybody's liver is working subconsciously right now to operate a lot of functions in the body. And from the energetic perspective, the function that's most important is their ability to, just like a seed would be in winter waiting, the spring energy is rising, the ability to break through stagnation. So liver energy works to break through any stagnation anywhere in the body. Maybe because it operates so many different functions. So if all those functions are working well, then how could there be stagnation in the body? It just breaks through it. Okay? So if somebody had a tumor, for example, or a cyst, or a pimple, whatever it is, we need liver energy to burst it, to break through it. So that's why in an herbal combination or in a remedy combination, sometimes liver agents or herbs or foods are included even though it's not the source of the reason or the main herbs, it's in there to help break through stagnation. Okay? Right, so barley, mushrooms, and any rising green vegetables. So vegetables that grow straight up. What's a green vegetable that grows straight up?
Onions.
Onions, green onions. Yeah, right. The green part of the onion, the scallion, celery, straight up. What about celery root? Has anybody ever eaten celery root? You don't see it that common. It's not that common. It's actually much more common in Europe. They use it. What would that be good for? If celery is good for the liver, what's celery root for? Kidney. Reproductive functions. Very tonifying. So these are just foods. Right now, just knowing some of this information and applying which you are learning to the foods you already know about, you can help a lot of people without knowing a whole bunch of specialized herbs. Okay? Just applying this could make such a difference with people. So really great for frigidity, both male and female reproductive scenarios that need change. Celery root. Okay? And then the celery leaf would take that new energy that's built in the lower organs and start spreading it through the rest of the body. So the celery root would actually help the celery root would help the essence, whereas the stem, would help like the libido. So once the reproductive organs were healed, working well again, then the actual stem will help to get that energy going. Okay. Remember, we did men and men. Well, this might be obvious. Men and women, rising energy, reproductive. Celery stalk. Who's it better for?
Men.
Men. Right? Men's reproductive functions, how graphic do I have to get? I've got a lot of rising energy, we hope. Okay? Right? Celery stalk. We'll get to women too. Okay? Let's see what else. Okay. Next, so we go to radiating. The grains that are helpful for radiating, which grain comes out in the summer? Which grain naturally comes out in summer? Four-season climates. Well, maybe some wheats, but what's the most predominant? It only comes out in the summer. Corn, maize, corn is the summer grain. Polenta. And then also from more southern climates, right? Corn grows in more southerly warm climates. It does grow in four-season climates for sure. There's also quinoa, and amaranth, teff, Ethiopia. Those are more southern-like grains, more radiating energy. And the signature plant for the radiating energy and the organ that goes along with that is the heart. Because the heart pumps blood all over the body, radiates blood to all parts of the body. So the signature vegetable is big leafy greens, like collard greens. Can you imagine collard green? It's got a big leaf, and then it has all these radiating veins of energy that go through it, right? That's radiating energy. Which is bringing up another important part of plants. Each of these has a taste. Salty taste is more for the winter flowing energy. Sour taste, like lemon, helps, as long as it's the right amount, helps the liver. And bitter helps to contain the radiating passion of the heart, which could go out of control. So the imbalances that you might notice, if someone needs one of these three, back to the root, the water, the winter phase, people might detach or run away from life.
And which one?
If this is water, hibernation, kidney. So they, like, it's too cold, life is too cold. And they might even appear cold because they're detached. Very detached, very aloof person. You might say, well, we're not that warm, we're cool, or tight. That's winter energy. Yeah? The angry type is a little hotter, spring is a little hotter. It's here. The all over the place, scattered type might be here and radiating in summer. So you might notice those disharmonies. And then these foods would bring them back into harmony. Okay? Taste is very interesting. If you had to say on these three so far, if you had to consider yourself when you're in a bad mood, think of yourself last time you were in a bad mood. And think of the last time you were in a bad mood. Okay. Let's just test these three. Did you feel more salty? Like taste salt. Like contracted feeling? Did you feel, the last time you were in a bad mood, did you feel sour? No? Like, do you know that you feel like a sour mood? When you think of yourself or somebody when you're ever in a sour mood? Okay? That's got something to do with these seasons. So these are little hints for us. Or someone's just, which one? Go ahead.
Like if you're like they have the angry, they show like the sour, so they have too much sour.
Yeah, that's right. They might be having too much sourness. Their life seems sour, so they're angry about that. Those could connect.
So if you had a sour person, what would be the food source in the doctor? So
What I was talking about.
the grains?
Those grains, those foods for that season.
And that would
Spring. That's spring. And that would harmonize. Now we're talking generally, okay? So these are general theories that you get to actually see how they work with individuals. And again, all these elements affect each other. So what's important for us is to really find out what the source is. The reason they're sour might be because of some other element. So we need to figure all that out individually. So we're just saying, let's say we really know it's a water, a tree, or a fire-like disturbance, and we want to make harmony with it, we could use these foods. Okay? And bitter. Like, how's bitter different from sour? Please, check in yourself. Next time you're in a bad mood. Like, if I had to characterize a taste to what I'm feeling right now, what would that be? And you might be able to make a complementary change. You notice like some people are bitter about life? It's a little different than sour. Sour is more like a fermented food that's fermented too much. You know? It's like sour taste. Pickles, right? Pickles are actually very helpful for rising energy because they contain a lot of upward fermented foods, and it helps the energy go up. They're more of a raw preparation. There's been fermentation and a lot of liveness that's gone on. So that actually helps. A little bit of sour helps. But too much sour, and it shuts down that freshness. Okay? And bitter. Okay, so these are literal tastes, and they're also moods. Okay? Check out your moods next time. Which taste? All right? So dreams, we put them into action, we get inspired, and now we get down to earth. One step at a time, we get down to earth, we carry through, we ground our dreams. that were starting back in sleep. They put attention on. They were excited, passionate, impassioned, and now one step at a time to carry through. It's the grounding. And the grain, the beneficial grain for grounding and perseverance is the most alkaline of all grains, millet. Millet. So if someone is new to grains and doesn't chew their food, you might want to recommend millet until they learn how to chew really well and assimilate. Grains that really need to be chewed a lot and they need to be prepared properly. And so millet can help this area.
Did you say it was the most alkaline?
And it's the most alkaline of all grains. So most grains, when they're tested, and this testing that scientists do to assess whether a food is alkaline or acid is really different than what the body might do. So all they do is burn it. They burn a food and they see what minerals are left over. If there's alkaline minerals left over, they assess that food as an alkaline food. But the body looks and works very differently than a laboratory test. So as far as acidity and alkalinity, every body is really different, and the safest grain to create alkaline blood is definitely millet. I know very few people who have problems with millet. And ground vegetables generally are the signature plant, so we're going down to earth now. So any vegetable that grows on the ground is a signature plant for the earth element, and especially sweet squashes. Sweet squashes. And we have a drink here that is meant to harmonize the earth element. This is the spleen pancreas. So blood sugar level and digestive immunity. The spleen is connected more with digestive immunity, and the pancreas is connected with blood sugar levels. And the taste here for earth element.
What was the SB? Sorry.
Spleen. Spleen, SP, and PA is pancreas. Spleen creates white blood cells from old red blood cells and helps your immunity. And the taste is?
Sweet.
Sweet.
For both, for spleen too? Or
Yeah,
just for
yeah,
pancreas?
it's all earth element sweet. Earth element is the sweet taste. Now sometimes people are too sweet. Okay? You think that everybody likes sweet, you know? Like, oh, it's so nice. You're so sweet. People call themselves honey and oh, sugar. You know, we use this. This is earth element. This is connection element. And so we like sweet. And sometimes people are too sweet, or they need sweet from you. Oh, why don't you be nice to me? Come on, you're a nice person. Treat me nice. They're craving sweet. They're needy of sweet. So I'll make you some sweet vegetable drink, and then I'm out of here. That's the signature vegetables. And then metal element, gathering to completion, finishing, the ability to be solid. The grain is brown rice. And really any kind of rice, it's just that brown rice contains all that fiber and germ, so it also helps the organs of the large intestine. So the large intestine is for elimination, and so it helps the lungs to eliminate more efficiently when the intestines are eliminating more efficiently. Does that make sense? When your intestines eliminate more efficiently, then we can take a bigger breath and let go of more waste from the lungs. So the fibrous aspect of brown rice and any whole grain helps the intestines with the fiber to let go of the past and breathe in our individuality and our personalized expression of life. Gathering to completion is not just finishing projects, it's also understanding and expressing who we are as individuals. you became an individual and your lungs started working, right? Before that, you're breathing from mouth. So as soon as the lungs start working, you're an individual now. So this is also connected energetically to being an individualized, expressive being in the world. So lungs, liver, intestine. And the signature vegetable is the lotus root. You don't have it, right? No. The lotus root looks like a potato, but when you cut it on a cross-section, it has these little alveoli, just like the lungs. You all know the lotus flower. You've all seen pictures of the lotus flower. Well, underneath it, there's this chain of potato-looking like roots. And if you cut them, they have all these lung-like alveoli. And one of the biggest difficulties with lungs is there's too much water buildup in the lungs. And so this root is very, very comfortable, because that's where it lives, at working with water. So it helps the lungs, its ability to stay dry. Lungs like dryness. And the taste for lungs is pungent, spicy, because the lungs tends to become too organized. When there's an imbalance in the metal element, when there's a distortion in the metal element, it tends to be too orderly, too stuck, it happened this way last year, it'll happen again this year and the year after. If things could only stay the same, things change. So spicy offers a little bit of movement to the lungs and large intestine, helps to break things up. If you will, it adds a little bit of tree or fire elements, just a little bit. We use a lot of spice typically, unless people crave that newness, that spicy lifestyle. Anybody who really likes spices? Some people really like spice. So that's a sign of something in the persona, in the psyche, that has too much order. There's some aspect that inside that has too much order and too much metal. And so spicy goes, oh, finally, I can express this vivacious side to myself. Right? So what we crave is usually an opposite of what we have too much inside. Thank you.
And that would be to fix it as the opposite, right?
Say that again.
Correction is putting this the opposite of
It
what
would
we-
correct it. Or not. Because sometimes we use food as a crutch. So rather than getting what we need personally within on a deep level, we resort to food to get a little taste of what we want. Are you the only one who's ever done that? So if you want something in your life, you're not quite getting it, whether it be, not yet, almost. Okay. All right, so if you want a little spice in your life, that means your life might be too dry. If you want a little bit of sweet in your life, then your life might be too sour. You know what I'm saying? Or too salty, it's just too constricting. I feel contracted. My life's too salty. Give me some sweet. Let me feel that nice nurturing. Right? So foods can help us. The less extreme the food is, the more it might harmonize the organs that are necessary. But the more extreme the food is, right? Is ice cream going to really heal your spleen and pancreas? You know what I mean? Is ice cream a pint of Haagen-Dazs? Is that really going to... It's sweet. It should harmonize. I can just see you with some ice cream flash going, well, it's sweet. Not really.
It's more of a emotional.
It's a comfort. It's an emotional fix or crutch. And it's okay. It's fine. Just notice it. Take some time, and from the inside we change. It could take a whole life to do this. That's fine. Maybe we'll get there, maybe not. It's fine. Just enjoy the journey. Have your ice cream, whatever you like, and brownie, whatever it is. Okay. And also, knowing some of this information might help you to make some internal changes. So if you need more sweetness in your life, you need more spicy in your life, yeah. You get it in another way than just hot salsa or cayenne. Okay, so any question on the signature foods before we actually taste and take a break? Any questions on these? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is have sweet vegetable drink, which is, what vegetables are in there?
We have onion, squash, kabocha, and carrots.
Onion, squash, and carrots. Kabocha, squash.
4 veggies.
4 veggies. Onion, squash, carrots, what else?
Onion, squash, carrots, and cabbage.
And cabbage. Okay. You could put any sweet vegetable in there. You could put corn in there, okay, parsnips, any sweet vegetable, just cooked to the point that it gets really, really sweet. This is a great soup broth, actually. As a remedy, it was traditionally used, created by Michio Kushi. Most of the ones we're talking about today, the home remedies today, come from a Japanese macrobiotic background. The traditional Japanese folklore foods. And this one is the sweet vegetable drink. It harmonizes blood sugar levels. So those of you who tend to get tired around this time of the day, if that's a consistent thing, then you probably have something going on with your pancreas, because this is the time of day where the pancreas energy, it's like early fall, it's not quite late harvest, it's not quite the end of the day yet. That would be metal. This is early afternoon. So when energy starts to wane at that time, then it's time for some sweet vegetable drink, and having sweet vegetable drink on a regular basis will prevent that. Okay?
So it's onion, cabbage, carrot, and what else?
Squash.
Kombucha.
Any sweet squash you can make.
You put it about 20-25 minutes.
20-25 minutes, yeah. It depends how much water you use.
Check out the carrot to show them how it's real fine.
Yeah, the finer you cut the vegetables, the more you'll get the sweetness out of them.
And what do you do with the vegetables after the body?
You can use them if you want.
Separately for the box?
You save it, you don't throw it away.
Oh, no, I mean,
And put
you
it in a
put it
soup,
separately.
or you stew, or, I save mine sometime in the morning for my miso soup, with fresh veggies, of course.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Giving, not just the one from yesterday, no, from the sweet veggie. Always some fresh veggie to add new life, fresh life into it. Yeah, but it would make a wonderful soup. You can do with it whatever you
Okay, so let's open
Everything
it up.
is ready.
Let's open it up and taste it,
okay.
everybody. And we'll take a little break here. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is a dish called nishimi, a Japanese word, and it means metaphorically waterless cooking. So I'd like you to come up and look at what this looks like here, all right?
Okay.
So I want you to show them the nishimi dish.
Yeah, I have to put this on there.
That's
Warm and more colorful.
okay.
Now we've been sitting for a couple hours, so
Okay,
maybe.
So,
We have a ready, we have a sauce for that.
okay, so let me explain it, okay? Alright, so these vegetables, you see the way they're cut, right? So they're cut in big chunks, right? So it's not little fine pieces. What do you think the effect is of cutting in big chunks? It's very grounding and a lot of heat, right? So the bigger the vegetable is, the more time it'll take to soften. So the vegetable's got lots of heat in it. So this is typically better for colder, grounding climates where it's earth element, metal element, water element. So if somebody needs more grounding in their lower system, then this is a perfect type of preparation. If somebody needs to be lighter, then we chop much finer. Okay, and if they need more cooling, then we make finer cuts. So there's no right or wrong, it's just what you need. And a typical meal would, of course, have everything represented, ideally, and then people would be able to take whatever their condition suits them. But if you can imagine if you ate, and then what Ron was saying, it doesn't really look that good. We'll put the broth on it now, the gravy on it. So where's the gravy?
And the broth,
The gravy?
the broth is not a separate broth. This is a veggie that cooks in its own juice.
So very, very low heat, very, very low heat, so that the vegetables start simmering in their own juices, and you don't have to add a lot of water. So it's a very concentrated way of getting flavor.
You know, and then we cast iron.
No, you don't cover them with water, just a small amount of water, if any.
As a lid, very tight, so you can.
Keeps all of the
Yes,
liquids in.
it keeps all,
Yeah.
everything right there.
And
It
the-
doesn't have much water, just the juice from the veggies.
And the thicker the pot, the less water you would have to use, because,
Exactly.
and the lower the flame, so the juice is just simmering around. I mean, the vegetables simmering around juice.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And so
continue.
that's the juice, and of course the shiitake mushrooms.
So you put
that's-
shiitake
Shiitake
mushrooms
mushrooms
in
and
with the sauce.
kombu that has to
Seaweed,
soak
kombu is a
overnight.
seaweed.
Yes, kombu and shiitake. And the little pieces was the burdock in there
Okay.
because they were so
Go
dry.
ahead.
So this is the juice from the veggies.
Go ahead.
So
And you got burdock root.
and a little kusu to thicken it a little bit. Okay.
Okay, now everybody can take a fork and try it, some of it, right?
So the broth and the vegetables was used to make the gravy? You took it out and sauteed it
Yes.
in with the mushrooms and
With
the
mushrooms, yeah.
the seaweed
Yeah.
and a little kusu.
Yeah, a little kuzu to thicken it. In fact, we'll discuss that right now. Kuzu, does anybody know what kuzu is?
Just those green leaves.
Kuzu in Georgia is called kudzu, and it grows everywhere. It's a root, it's a weed, they don't know what to do with it. It goes through rocks. It's such a strong root vegetable. And in Japan, it's a real delicacy, and it's actually very expensive coming all the way from Japan. If somebody cultivated it in the US, they could probably make themselves a lot of money. It's the greatest thickener you could use. It has no flavor of its own, so you can use it to thicken broths, sauces, and in doing so, you're also helping to empower the lower organs, the whole digestive system, really. It'll coat the digestive system of the body. It's got a lot of different uses. In my book, it talks about some of the different uses. I've typically used it with anybody who's having any kind of digestive sensitivity at all. Okay? Any digestive sensitivity at all. Kuzu is a really, really great thickener. Do we have actually any in powder form? No? We do. Yeah, no, we didn't bring it. So,
Come to the microbiology class, we'll have everything. Okay.
K-U-Z-U. And it's all in my books. So these are all Shaping Our Destiny, Food for Life, and Home Remedies, Kuzu. So it's a thickening agent, just like arrowroot. You know what arrowroot is? It sort of looks like arrow. And it's really, really great for any kind of intestinal, small intestine, large intestine sensitivity. So a lot of people they find themselves very, very sensitive to different foods and they react. This is such a great remedy. There's so much of that going around, right? For people, they have one little food and their system breaks out. Kuzu will really help to coat and energize the digestive system so people are less sensitive.
Is it used, like, do you have to do it in a separate bowl and then kind of mix it in there and then put it in the broth?
You can use it, yes. You put it in cold water first to make it all milky and so it's dissolved, and then you add it to any sauce, just like you would with flour. Okay, so I'll explain this in parts. Kuzu drink. So just taking the root starch, this white powder, and just making a very, very simple drink with it is more cooling. It builds energy, and it's used for weaker conditions, especially with children. So children are weak for some reason after a cold or after an illness. It also reduces a fever, so it'll actually give strength while reducing a fever if it's a low fever. And it can also prevent the fever from getting higher too. So it's been traditionally used for fever and strengthening children, very, very common use. With adults, it's more used with what we're going to show you today. You have umeboshi, right? Umeboshi plums?
Right here.
Yeah, okay, good. So it's used with, I like them, yeah, you can pass around these
Yes,
umeboshi
this
plums.
was over there.
I'm just going to, oh, this paste. Just put this in. Oh, there we go. Nice. So these are umeboshi plums and cut up into paste. You can pass this around. It's very, very salty.
The plums are, or
The plums are, and the paste is very, very salty. It's very, very alkalizing. So Japanese soldiers go into the mountains or go on some trek, they would always take this umeboshi with them to alkalize the blood in case any water they drank might have bacteria. So it's considered the Japanese cure-all for any kind of blood condition. Umeboshi plums. It is very, very salty though. So we typically only use small amounts of it. And so we're going to add this salty plum. So it's sour and salty. So it's liver and kidney taste. And we're going to add that to a kuzu drink. So the kuzu drink will help the digestive system, and it will help it to be a little more powerful and move through stagnation because it has the sour liver chi energy, and it also has the root power, the salty taste, and the kidneys, which helps us to adapt. And those two combinations assure the alkalinity of the blood. Anytime.
Okay. So it's
It
not
can be
like-
helpful the first thing in the morning. So on an empty system, you coat the system, get it strong so that when you're putting food in, it's all ready to do what it needs to do, it's empowered. So that's probably the most popular time it's used at. Some people take it maybe not right before bed, but sometime after their supper meal so that while they're sleeping, the digestive system is resting, quiet, okay? So it's very settling. Also great for a sore throat. First sign of a cold, people get a sore throat and it gets all rough in here. The kuzu will help coat the throat and the umeboshi will help alkalize. If you want to make it more warming, you can add ginger, grated ginger to it, so that'll warm the system up.
How about it though?
I'm going to put some ginger in. Okay, a little soy sauce. Okay.
A few drops of
Yeah, go ahead.
this one.
Fine, that's fine. So you could just grate some ginger. Do you want to bring some ginger over here? Okay. Now this is a really warming, especially now. So just kuzu alone, even though it might be warm to the taste, actually has a cooling effect. But now that we're adding umeboshi, just a touch of soy sauce. Go ahead. That's it. That's good. I like it for general use when the sour taste is more than the salty taste.
How do you want me to grade this? You just gotta,
I
don't
think
have
you
a
would
grader?
also
You gotta-
Yeah.
You want the skin left on this?
Yes.
Okay.
Leave the skin.
Oh, you got a little baby.
Okay. And do you have the big grater here? Vanja, do you have the big grater? The large grater? You don't have it? Okay. Can you have someone take it out and have someone start grating? Because we're going to make a ginger compress today.
Okay. Someone wants to start grating the ginger?
So somebody start, and you can pass it around and let everybody grate a little bit of ginger. So you see how this is made. Oh, you have two. Great. Great. So we're grating here.
Is this enough for your soup or you need
Yeah,
more?
go ahead. That looks good. Now it's starting to boil. Let's turn this off.
Oh, that's too big. I'm gonna grab a small spoon and we can
Oh,
spread it.
do you know what? Just dip it in, okay? Just like hold the end.
Oh,
like
dip
this.
that. Oh, okay.
Like that. Okay? And you can scrape it in like that, okay?
Okay.
Just scrape it in.
Oh, cool.
Okay? And here we're grating some ginger, and we're going to make a ginger compress out of this. This week, by the way, I'm going to show you a lot of the things that we're going to do, and next week you're going to do them on each other. Okay? So it's more demonstration this week. Once we start getting into the ginger compress and some of the other external remedies, and next week you're going to do them on each other.
And then what are you making here?
And so this was the umeboshi. I explained it, you were out. But it's umeboshi plum paste with ginger, a little bit of soy sauce.
You need more ginger, honey?
Alright, so everybody, the more familiar you are with these recipes, people's conditions, the more you might recommend different proportions for each people's. Okay, so we're going to move to some of the different remedies. So inside this bag is salt, okay? So all that's in here is just plain old salt. You could use sand if you didn't have salt. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it inside this pot, and we're just going to get it warm. And I'll show you later how we use this. Any kind of salt is fine for our purpose. Okay, so inside this salt is heating up. Oldest peel pieces, so. So just hold it nice and wide. And I'm dumping in salt. Everyone, you see this? It's been heated up in a pot. That's all it is. No water, nothing, right? Just salt heated up in a pot. Okay. Good. I think it's enough for a demonstration, yeah. Okay, I want you to all feel this. If you've got some pain somewhere in your body, this feels so good. It'll go to any shape, right? Wherever it'll fit to anything. Okay? So just make sure you don't spill it. Pass it around. And it's really hot. It'll hold the heat for about 20 minutes. Much better than an electrical blanket. Okay? Electrical blankets, a lot of people are talking about how the electromagnetic field interferes with the iron in the blood. So you're better off taking the time making a great energy salt or sand pack and putting it on whatever area you might feel tight. You can work on people, those of you doing massage, you can work on people while you're working on them, right? So they keep this on them on their lower back, or their belly, wherever they need some circulation. And it'll help whatever you're doing to be much more efficient.
Would that work same thing with the brown rice?
Same thing as brown rice.
Like when you warm it up, and like you want to do that gravy, like warm it up.
You warm up bread. This will be much better. And I would recommend not using a microwave. The heat won't last as long. But this will last much longer than heating grains and using them.
So you got, what do you call this, like salt compress?
Just salt. Yeah, this is called a salt pack. Salt pack. And it holds that heat for a long time. We've got 2 pillows there, and you still feel it. Yeah.
Could we add like lavender flowers
Sure.
or
Sure.
sage?
If you like, sure. Nice, right? Lower back. All right. Now, the salt pack has a different effect than the ginger. Okay, so Wanda's cutting the cheesecloth. You could use a sock, okay, if you don't have cheesecloth. You know, like an old sock that's maybe old, and then the ginger juice will sneak out of it. And you could just put ginger in, but it would just make a mess all over the place. And you can reuse this too.
Okay.
Vanja's done lots of compresses in her life. How many compresses have you done, Vanja, in your life? This is really, well, it smells so good. Do you smell it? Okay, and where's her,
Just the ginger
and where's the
comes.
water?
I couldn't go.
Okay. All right, so we'll get it ready.
Can we get it, can we wait then a little
Here,
bit?
let's put that in here.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
So,
So we're squeezing out the ginger. See, there's a lot of juice, right?
yeah. Ah, look at that beautiful color.
You can use as much ginger as you want. The more ginger you use, the better. The stronger it is.
And there's
Okay.
a lot in here.
Yeah, go ahead, put it in.
I think we
That's
can
fine.
put it in.
That's fine. Okay, and you're going to tape it up? You're going to tape up the bag, right? Tie up the bag? Just tie it up.
Yes, okay. Well,
So you get it. We're going to put that sack of ginger inside water, and then we're going to heat the water up. Show me where. Ready? Okay, then we wring it out because this is really hot one, or just teach them how to do it. Okay, now there's only one word you need to know, and that word is up. Okay? Because some people don't know what to say, and it's hot, so the only word, if it's too hot for him, all he has to say up. Okay? I'm going to be very gentle. So what I usually do is I just put it down and I just take it out right away without waiting. Okay? Is that okay? You felt it was hot, yeah? Pardon me? It was warm, okay. Now there's water being absorbed by the pores into his skin, into the internal organs. If we had a bunch of ginger in the water, it would be all over the towel now. But since we just have ginger juice, we could leave that sack. Let's leave the sack in.
oh yeah? Yeah, that's true.
And that'll make it even stronger. Just leave it. It's fine. Okay, so we've got a sack. Can you come and see with the sack here? Just leave it. That's fine. Just one place is good. So there's the sack, ginger towel. Good. Oh, you want to take it out nicely. Okay, then we wring it out because this is really hot water. It's not boiling. Make sure it's not boiling. You never want to boil the water, okay? Because then you'll destroy the stimulating effect of the ginger. You want it hot but not boiling. Okay? This is another one that you can leave in place while you're working on someone, or just teach them how to do it. Okay, now there's only one word you need to know, and that word is up. Okay? Because some people don't know what to say, and it's hot, so the only word, if it's too hot for him, all he has to say up. Okay? I'm going to be very gentle. So what I usually do is I just put it down and I just take it out right away without waiting. Okay. Was that okay? You felt it was hot, yeah? Pardon me? It was warm, okay. Now there's water being absorbed by the pores into his skin, into the internal organs. So that's the difference between this and a salt pack. A salt pack is a little better for creating heat. Yes, they both create heat. But a salt pack might help to draw out toxins more. The ginger water tends to go in and tonify the areas underneath. Okay, so tell me. Say up. No, it's okay?
It's good.
It's good, all right. And we would usually put another towel over. I don't want to get his. Can you just give me that top there? So we would usually just put another towel on to keep it warm. Okay? Another one that you could work on somebody with. So, we can work kidney 1, that's where that compress is. It's on the kidney area. We could work the kidney points. We could start going up his bladder meridian and his kidney meridian at the same time. Those of you who know your meridians, the bladder meridian is down the back, kidney's on the inside of the leg. So I could be working the kidney and bladder meridians while he's warming up. Okay, can I have another pillow? Or a couple. And so working, getting the blood flow moving, getting the chi moving. Let's just put, you can move up just a little bit. We'll get you more on the table. Can you move up just a little bit? Just nudge forward. That's yeah, that's fine. Okay? And when I put heat up here, is that okay?
Fine.
So it's fine with him, it's not too hot. So that could be intense if I was to put direct heat with a little pressure on. And we do this typically until the area gets red. Now if he gets red, we know it was hot. Okay? Well, almost. I'm seeing a little bit of red there. Okay? It'd be nice actually if we could have a white-skinned person come up so you can really see how red this gets. I'm going to put it on one more time though, okay? So you go back again, and we do this until the area gets red. Okay. And it's, no matter what area you want to help, like let's say there's stuff going on with the lungs. So you can do the lungs, and I recommend you do the kidney area first. Because when the kidneys are working well, then toxins anywhere else in the body will be able to get out that much quicker and more efficiently. So lungs or shoulder, legs, wherever you might want to cleanse and get some energy moving, still do this kidney area first. That's okay, right?
Yes.
It's not hot?
No, it's good.
I'm interested to see somebody else here, because if he really can take this heat, because most people can't, you know, it means he must really need some heat in this area. Okay. All right. Somebody else want to try this?
I'll do it.
Okay. But you're my camera girl. He's a little red, okay? Asia's doing, yeah, we'll put it over your back. Oh, you'll do the, okay, all right. Okay, all right, thanks.
All right.
When you get up, hopefully you'll feel a little bit better. We would typically do this a little longer though, just demonstrating it. This is also really great for digestive, on the intestines, but again, still do it on the kidneys first. Again, like we were saying, how kuzu helps people who have digestive and elimination sensitivities. This will really help that a lot. when I learned these techniques, all the students would get together and we would have ginger compress parties on Friday night. And everybody would get together and put compresses on each other. That's how healthy people have parties, right? Let's have a ginger compress potluck, right? Okay, now tell me if you... The word is up, right?
yeah.
She didn't remember. She went... all you need to know is up.
Okay. That's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to make a little high. I have limited time. This isn't the party. And you'll see if you use a salt pack or a ginger compress while you're working on someone, you'll feel a lot of energy moving while you work on it. Tell me, you okay?
Good. Mm-hmm.
All right, good. So it's not that hard. And then we'll just see what happens with her skin. So if the heat is consistent on the towel, you'll see that one part of the, like the right side or the left side, might be different in their circulation. So one side might not be as red as the other. So that's telling you what side of their body needs more circulation. So it can be assessment as well. Yeah, so you're getting a little pink here. How are you doing?
It's good.
It's good?
Yeah.
How does it feel?
It feels warm, like all the way through.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that warmth goes deep because the water will get absorbed by the tissues. Should be a good one for you too.
Do great. You have to get a greater
Great, the ginger.
Oriental Asian.
As long as you want. The stronger the better. Okay?
In China, you get cold, you drink to add ginger soup that makes you feel good.
Sure, yeah. You can drink ginger soup for sure. You can have it internally too. So this is to get it on the outside, right? So let's do, yeah, that's good. That's so the combined effect of heat and ginger for circulation is going to, that water is going to go inside and make a lot of energy and a lot of blood flow to the kidneys, the ureters, the large intestine. So no matter where you're going to put a ginger compress, you can put it anywhere that you might have some pain or stiffness. It's good to do this part of it first because it really gets the kidneys filtering the blood to get rid of waste, and also the large intestine. It activates them to really move toxins and wastes outside the body. So we go in, and because it's hot, we wring it out. We want to get the towel enough so that it's all gingerized, so to speak. If I put it on with the water, it would be really, really hot, okay? So I'm wringing it out. And it's still really hot. I mean, I can feel how hot this is. So I usually tell people that I'm doing this on, there's one word you have to know. It's an English word. It's up. Okay? So if it's too hot, the only thing you're going to tell me is not, well, just say up. Okay? Very simple. It's hot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go up anyway. I'm not going to wait for her.
Up.
See, I beat her to it.
Up.
She listens to directions very well.
Come on. Up.
Okay. And so even while we're doing this, see that water? Do you see the water there? It's getting circulated. It's going in, activating your kidneys. It's cooling down a little.
Up.
Okay.
Up. Up.
Now this is right over the kidneys in this area, right under the rib cage, the actual kidney itself. In Chinese philosophy and medicine, this whole area is called the kidney area, all the way down to the sacrum. Okay? And then we put another towel. I'm still listening for a nap. Sit.
Oh.
Okay. Now, yeah, so you see it started to get a little pink now. Now, let's see. I'm going to see if I can extend this towel all the way through your whole kidney area. Tell me.
That's much better,
Up?
yeah.
Up?
No.
Oh.
That was good.
Okay. So now we're getting the whole kidney area. And then we put a towel over to keep the heat in. So, still okay? Now this is a great opportunity now. You can actually work the kidney and bladder meridians while she's holding the compress. So a very simple way to do that is, this is kidney 1 with the thumb, and squeezing along bladder meridian, and just going through the center. So if you're actually doing like this with your thumb here and your finger here, you're actually getting kidney with your thumb and bladder with your index finger, and you're just moving circulation. So going right through the bladder meridian until eventually, it's still okay there? Okay, now that it's cooled down a little bit, then you can go directly over. Now just tell me if the pressure is
Okay.
okay, good. So then you just hold over the kidneys. In more advanced Zen-Touch work, we hold here with the hand like this on the empty, and then we hold full places here. So you can do that and get energy to move from fuller places to empty. You okay still? All right. So now it's becoming more of a relaxing experience. It's very, very soothing, all that warmth going in. You would do this until she gets red. So that's the point. We actually want the skin to get red. So let's just check. And the sooner they get red tells you the efficiency of their circulation. So she's pink, but not red. So if you really want to get something accomplished here, it's nice to have a soothing session and all the relaxation and the warmth. And if we really want to accelerate and make some sort of change, get those kidneys activated, we do this until it gets red, okay?
And that's when you're done?
And that's when you're done. Yeah, as soon as it's red, it's fine.
Quite a few minutes.
Can you get in the tub with
Yeah?
like the
careful.
ginger water?
You can, just be careful because it's intense.
How much ginger did you use?
Excuse me?
How much ginger did you
It's
use?
usually about a fistful of ginger, but you can use as much as you want. The stronger the better.
There is a recipe for that. Yeah. I believe it's in Seymour's book, the recipe, right, Seymour?
Yeah, but you can make it as strong as you
If
want.
you want, yeah.
She'll get red sooner. The more ginger you use, then the less time this
The
will take.
warmer the better, yeah.
Tell me.
You get used to the heat.
It's okay? Yeah, so it's cooled down now.
It's great.
Maybe I can resist more now.
Mhm.
Occasionally you'll see, even though the towel is consistently wet and hot, there still might be an area that stays white. That sometimes happens. So it's showing you where there's some circulation issue. on the left side or the right side. She's fine. Maybe well, I'm not sure. Okay.
Up.
Oh, see how red she got on?
It's so nice. Up.
Okay. So you do that until they get red.
Up. Can you hold it on warm? Up.
Now, for you heroic types
Try
who,
to
who think you can take that heat, I know because I've done this so many times. Sometimes when you go a little bit longer than you think is healthy or safe, and you can say up any time, you will feel huge surges of energy go through your body. So that's up to you to see if you want to go a little further with that.
Get used to it.
But yeah, and the more you get used to it, and it's odd because you don't know what's going on, and you've never done this before, and someone's doing this to you. But the more you get used to it, you might be comfortable with going a little bit longer with the heat on it, and you'll feel lots of energy. But this is approaching where we might stop anyway. And probably get it a little redder. So that's what I'd like you to do with each other. I think we need to put it back on the burner and just to keep it warm, yeah. And everybody can go over and take a towel. I think I have some other towels I'll bring in too. And everybody, I'd like to try this. Okay.
Don't need up.
Okay. That's good. So it's your right here. If you really want to do this professionally, and you want to look inside someone's ear, you can get one of these. And look. You might see something, okay? So you can get one of these, but her ear looks fine, okay? So lie on your side. So this is hollow, there's nothing in here. This is a traditional folk remedy from almost every culture I've ever been to. Somebody says, yeah, my great-grandmother used to do this. Italy, wherever, there's somebody who knows about this. It's the traditional way that people used to get stagnation out of the ear canal before I bet you know that whole syringe kind of thing. So this is a vacuum. So instead of pushing anything into the ear, putting water in and trying to get something out, we're actually creating a vacuum with a flame, and then that vacuum starts to pull out of the ear. So if there's any toxins and wastes and bacteria that's causing some kind of inflammation or some kind of pain, then the ear candle pulls it out. Okay?
I've seen in Mexico people do that with a cigarette.
Okay, now you can hold it pretty.
No, that
You'll
sounds
know
like
if it's in too deep or not. Okay, so you feel that, does that feel like it's in there? Right, you be careful if you're ever doing this, so you don't shove that candle in there. It's a very tender area. So I usually have the person hold it so they are in control of how deep it is. Yeah. And then you light it. Does anybody have a jacket or a sweater or something? Or you could just put over Natalie.
Grab on your hair.
Okay, just let her do it, okay? Okay? All right. So you okay?
Yes, thank you.
Uh-huh. Now I'm looking, and what I'm looking for is what I'm seeing I don't like. There's smoke coming out of her ear.
Oh, which means it's not in.
Which means it's not suction. So we have to adjust it a little bit.
Oh, is that what that is?
And you kind of feel that it's really in your ear, but not hurting, but just that it's really well placed. Usually if you move the plate, okay, let's see now. Maybe okay, we have to wait for the old smoke to go away.
So where's the
it's not supposed to come out.
The only place that anything would come out would be here, the top. So if there's smoke coming out here, that means that there's stuff in the candle coming out, and there's no suction. So now it's fine. Okay, you can let go of your top hand. Whatever hand's comfortable. Is that okay for you to hold? Good. Okay, so right now, what's most important that would be coming out of the ear is what's being burned off. So we're going to cut this candle later and see if there's anything in the end. A lot of times, though, it's just sediment from the bottom of the candle. Right? What's most important is just what's coming out, it's being vacuumed out and then burnt. Okay, so many kids have been helped with this because their cavities in here are very, very small, right? So they're very, very contracted. And if mucus builds up in this area, it's very, very painful. And believe it or not, kids actually like this. You set it up like a game, you put a mirror in front of them, you say, we're going to have a happy birthday cake in your ear. Okay, and we'll sing you happy birthday, it's your unbirthday. So you're really going to put a candle in my head, and they like it. It's very comfortable, it's very soothing, and it's helped a lot of kids. Some kids have had surgery, they go in there to put tubes in. This has prevented that for a lot of kids. A lot of elderly too, with ear stuff going on.
What is that made of? What is that? That wax?
It's wax.
Oh, it is wax.
Beeswax. They're made from different products. There's a lot of different ear candles out on the market now. Some are scented with lavender and eucalyptus. You can get a lot of exotic kinds. I'm going to order some so we can do this on each other next week if you want to experience what it's like and have your ears cleaned out. I recommend once or twice a year, especially if you use earphones, for your phones and iPods and stuff like that. It tends to make a lot of wax. And this will help that a lot. Okay, now the only thing we have to be careful is that it doesn't close. Otherwise, whatever is being burnt will just go back in. So we always have to keep a hole. Just check, make sure. So we have water here. Okay. Are you feeling all right? You're okay, right, Natalie? Okay. So I just make a cut and put it in like that. Just in case we have something here, so that wouldn't fall in. Some people are doing this professionally. You can get flame retardant cloth, and, cover the person so that they feel like there's no danger at all, even if something falls on me. It's not going to hurt. So now it's open again. Good, yes, nice and open, good. So she's cleaning out. And those of you who do body work, you can work on someone. I'm just going to use your leg, that's it. You can work on someone while they're getting their ears cleaned. Right? And especially the kidney area. So the kidney and the ear, look alike, right? Those of you who took body readings, you know that the ear is a manifestation of the kidneys and the energy of the whole body, really. The size of your ears are proportional to the size of your kidneys. If you put your ear back here, that's about what your personal kidney size is. Small ear, small kidney. Large ear, large kidney. Okay? Okay, so you can massage this area, and then it'll also relax her. And if you can get underneath and work points through the eustachian tube, sinus area, then that'll help movement through the ear candle. So I'd say if you were doing this professionally, this is probably a great practice. Most people don't. It seems to help a lot, and it helps to really relax the person. And this is the only way to get heat in your ear, in your head. Right? It's so soothing to get warm, comforting heat inside your head. You know how warm and nice it is to have something warm on your body, right? Well, it feels so good to have that warmth inside your brain. It's very, very relaxing. It's like a mild sauna or something inside your head. So it really helps. It's very, very relaxing. Okay? Good. We can start doing that. Context. Thanks for doing the grading, everybody. Who wants to practice cutting? You have to do this next week. Oh, she's never done it before. I'll see. Okay. Okay. You can go ahead and make the context. So, here.
Doing all right over there?
You feel the heat yet, Natalie?
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah,
All right, very good. Great cut. Natural.
I graduated.
It has to be the candidate test. Okay. Still no smoke. Okay.
Hey, Seymour, how many of those were you using in this book?
If you've never ever done it before, I would say 2 in each ear. Okay. You've never ever done it before. Maybe if you've done it on once or twice a year or something like that, maybe 1 is fine. I did this on my mother. This is just last year, one of my last visits. She couldn't hear out of her right ear. She's older, she's 90 years old. She couldn't hear out of her right ear. She went to the ear doctor, or a regular doctor, I think, and they looked inside her ear and they said, okay, I have to send you to a specialist because I can't pull all this earwax out. It's just all over, so you're going to have to go to a specialist. This is going to be a huge job, but that's why you can't hear. And so I said, well, before you go to the specialist, let me do ear canning. I did ear canning. We did about I think I went over every second night for a week, and all this stuff was coming out of her ears. And then she did go to the specialist. Her hearing got better immediately, even after the first day. By the end of the week, she could hear normally again. But she still wanted to see the specialist, and he went in and he said, you don't have any earwax. There's nothing covering
I
it.
did that with my grandfather, and he was deaf and wondering from antibiotics, those
From antibiotics,
antibiotics they gave him. He lost his hearing in one day, and he said he couldn't hear on the phone, like to talk.
Right.
And I did 7 candles in 30 days.
7 candles.
And he could hear just fine on the ear from talking on the phone after.
That's right.
And the same thing, they wanted to give him hearing aids.
So, swimmer's ear. Whenever there's swimmer's ear, your ears are blocked from swimming, it means there's wax holding the water in. That's what that is. It's not that the water's just staying there, it's because there's a buildup of wax that's keeping the water inside. So this can help that. Okay, he's getting close, right? Is that what you're smiling?
Yeah, that's what I was looking
Is that what
at.
everybody's...
He's getting kind of loved.
He's so calm. Okay. So that's a little close to the edge. Yeah. Okay. So we can take a look at what's inside your head now. I'm just unwinding. So I'm just unwinding.
Got a lot of wax in there.
Fall asleep.
Oh my God. I pull my ears every single day.
Oh, that's from really deep inside though, it's not in right there.
That's not earwax.
Oh.
If somebody wants to do this, you can just burn a candle in a jar and you'll get some of this. But if you do see really dark, old, brown stuff, that's earwax, hardened. But this is usually, I mean, there might be a little bit of earwax in here, but this is typically what you get when you burn one of these candles. A lot of people who do ear candling don't know that. They've never actually taken the time to burn a candle just on its own. Okay, so this is not all earwax. Okay, has anybody got some pain somewhere on their body, somewhere that they want some help with? You do. Your back. Where in your back? Oh, on the middle. Okay. So come on up here. Okay, so in the old days, they didn't have machines like this, and what people would do is, let's turn around here. Can you see if we're on? Okay, thanks. So we just go on the side. Yeah, like that. So we would look at Asia's ears. Am I saying that right, Asia?
Yes.
Okay, so we would look at Asia's ear, and we would look the complementary part of her body with where she's having pain. Okay? So if you look at the board here, if she had a pain in her head, that would show up in the earlobe area. So where most people put their earring in is actually the brain, right between the eyes. Third eye. That's where everybody gets their typical earring in. Right? And then eventually the body, I'm sure it affects the body in the beginning, but then the body just adjusts. Like people have earrings all over the place. And how about those really big ones, right? That people are getting them. So that's affecting, when it's first put in anyway, it's making a big stimulation to that person's head. Okay, maybe they need that, maybe that's why they're attracted to it. Traditional cultures would pull people's ears so that it would separate the earlobe and develop the person's brain. Because that's the brain, this part of the ear. So mid-back will be somewhere in this area. Lower back would be somewhere in here. Digestive organs would be somewhere in the middle, yeah? And so you can make some legs, I didn't put the legs in, I put the arms in. So legs would be somewhere in this area. And all the various organs according to the corresponding place on the fetus. That's the map we use to do ear auriculotherapy, right? So it's in your back. Show us where. On both sides or on the right and left side? Not in the middle?
No.
Uh-huh. So that means we might have to do both ears. Let's do one side and see what happens, okay? Is one side more than the other? Okay. All right, so let's look at the left. And so in the old days, people would have just looked for any kind of veins. You can look beside, some of your friends here and just see if there's any kind of veins or marks that look unusual. I see something right over here that correspond to your mid-back. Let's see if it's on this side too. Yes, you actually do have something quite unusual. There's a little notch there. It would go completely unnoticed unless you were looking for it. Okay. Sometimes just little dots, they're very, very minuscule. They would tell you about something in the corresponding part of the body that's showing itself on the ear. So in modern days, they came up with this device that detects when polarities are off on the body. And so you hold this. Yeah, just in between. And this will make a sound when the grounding on her ear, when there's a place on her ear that is looking for grounding. It'll make a sound. I'll do it on myself first. Just the sensitivity. Like that. Yeah, and that's on its most sensitive, so I just want to make sure it's working.
It doesn't hurt, does it?
It doesn't hurt, no. It's just the feeling of this on your skin.
No.
No, it doesn't hurt.
Someone gets shocked.
No, it doesn't.
Now, if she wants a shock, I can do that.
No. Surprise her.
So this is a diagnosis mode right now. Okay. It could also be on treatment mode where she would actually get a little ding to that area, but we're not going to do that.
Okay, good.
Okay? You don't need to do that. Okay, so where I'm looking for, actually, where's that chart right there? Can somebody look for me where the mid-back area is, okay? I want you to look for mid-back area. So this is a big, big view, not that, that's the back of the ear. Here's thoracic vertebrae, chest, okay? Right? Yeah. And if you take a look at Asia later, she very, very coincidentally has a mark there. So I'm going to test it. Okay? Let's find, so it's right on the mark that you're actually really easy. Fine. If I go to another part of your ear, nothing happens. Go to another part of your ear. So you're going to play with these next week, folks.
What is that? That's awesome.
It's awesome, right? Yeah, you can. There was a time when I was learning all this that I used this in almost any kind of session I had where somebody had pains, I would work on them. But first, I would find out that place and I would put this on, and then I would work on them while I had this. I'm actually going to put a seed on here. I'll show you. But I just want to show you that. Oh, that's right where your earring is. That could be. It could be just a little inflamed. Did you take your earrings out or something? She's got some other hot spots. They're all in that area though.
What song are you looking for?
So I'm going to look for the hottest spot, so to speak. I'll put 2 in there. Okay, I think you're going to respond to this because you seem to be quite sensitive. Okay, so then I have a seed here. There's a little seed on a little band-aid. Okay?
A seed of what?
It's called a verricua seed. It's the Latin name. Verricua. So I think it's hard to say if you're Japanese. Verricua. Verricua.
Is that what acupuncturists use?
Yes. Most acupuncturists actually put a metal piece in, so it actually goes into the skin. That's out of our scope of practice. Right? So we don't, what's the word, infiltrate the skin? What's the word? I can't think of it. Penetrate. All right, so this is just on the surface. This is just a seed. It goes on the surface of the skin. And the only reason the seed is used it's just because it's a very hard seed. So there's no magical purpose for it or anything like that. It's just a hard seed that will go on Asia's ear that affects that corresponding part of her.
Yeah, there you go.
Hold this again.
So for the people that want to slim down, that's why they get like so many of them.
Why do they get so many of them?
I don't know, I've seen that people
Yeah.
that want to slim down, they go, or maybe it's, I don't know, or it's a Mexican thing, but they wear like lots of those. Probably they put them that like in their whole digestive system. I don't know.
Okay, so now with this seed on here, if I've got it placed in the right position, there should be no sound anymore.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Okay. I'm going to do, where's that? I have it placed right underneath. Yeah. I'm going to do that too.
What is that? I don't get what is that being picking up on?
What is that?
What
It
is
picks up on a positive and negative pole that's not connected, that's not in harmony together. And then you put some mugwort on top of the salt. Imagine a little hill. And here's the belly button. And so you've got salt here. And then you put some little moxa piece on top. And you burn the moxa. And then the salt, you saw how salt can hold the heat, right? Holds the heat for a long time. And then all that heat goes into the navel. Really great for digestive and reproductive symptoms. And it helps to tonify the reproductive system. A lot of women traditionally did this to help them conceive a strong baby. This was traditionally done. For any kind of digestive and reproductive disorder, this particular method was used. You could also put a slice of ginger with holes on it, in it, so that the heat would be a little less direct, but it would also get some ginger heat, and it would go into the belly button as well. Or garlic is typically used too. And so those are just some traditional, you look scared. Some traditional methods that were used. It's just heat. We had one, I don't know, there was one year, and it's never happened since, but I think there was a lot of women in class who heard this and they wanted to conceive. They were at this point in their life. They wanted to conceive, and there was about 6 of them who said, "Line me up," and they all did this.
And they conceived.
Actually, I think 2 of them did.
Really?
I don't know if this helped, but they did. So.
Is that how you would apply like this?
Yeah, just like that. And you hold it in one place.
But you wouldn't like go with the smoke or just the heat?
No, it's just the
here?
heat. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The smoke's a bit of a hindrance. It's good if you have a fan to blow it away.
Oh.
But you just want the heat of the mugwort. And it's best if you hold it, get red, and then move. Okay, you can shut that for now. So I typically in these classes for years, a lot of years now, I've been burning the same points. But this is good for you to see. So what you can all come up and watch, don't worry, you can see. Okay, so this is the female point. If there was one point on the body that is considered, it has applications for men too, but it's 4 fingers up from the ankle. Right here it's called spleen 6. It's the meeting point of the spleen, the liver, and kidney meridians. So it's used for a lot of therapeutic, those are yin meridians, females are yin. So it's been used typically for reproductive issues, irregular menstruation. It's never done when a woman is pregnant because it induces labor. So this has been used to induce labor. It's also been used to turn the baby. It's one of those baby turning points. So as you can see, if you'll notice, do you see like a little white mark? So I have a little white discoloration. So after burning myself with direct moxa that I'll do in a minute, all that ever happens is that you might get a little white mark like this. Okay? So that's with direct moxa. And this is not quite direct moxa. But I'll just put a little stick.
This one stopped. It says memory full.
Oh, really? Okay, so we'll use this. Thanks for telling me. Okay, so I hardly feel anything. Next week, if you want to try these and know what they're like, you can do that. In Japanese culture, moxa was done at the change of every season. Oh, I better not do that.
You want some of this water here?
No, it's okay. I'll just take it off. Oh, it's still burning for sure.
Yeah, that's what it said. If you want to douse it out a little bit, or scissors.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so you go down until it goes into the point. So this is not foolproof, but it might be a little bit more direct. It might not actually touch my skin and make a scar. Okay, or if I really for sure wanted to make a change and I didn't mind a little scar on my leg, where's that other bag of moxa?
This one?
Yes, thank you. Can you? And I'll show you what you do. Open it up. And you take a little piece, little piece. You want about the size of a sesame seed or a rice grain. You want to make a little. You just roll it in your hand. Here, hold this. Okay. So she's got a pretty big piece here. And I'm going to just roll it in my hand. Until I get a little piece. And a typical treatment would be, can you see these? There's a little round piece like that. There would be seven of these on a point. Okay, and this hurts for sure. Okay, because you're burning yourself. Okay, so this does hurt. The other ones really don't hurt at all. I mean, you might feel a little bit from this one, but almost just like a mosquito for a second or something. But this is very direct. The Japanese are more into direct moxa. The Chinese usually don't use it that much. They put it more on needles. There, so you see it's going. Very good camera work. Okay, now I feel that it hurts, but I know it's going to go away, you know, and it's intense. I can actually feel through my whole meridian, oh, thank you, through my whole meridian, I can actually feel that going. So it's going all the way through my ankle. I'm feeling like, just like an acupuncture needle would, but it's heat. So it's going deep, deep heat into what this point is for. So my cycle next month will be. Men have cycles too, you know. Okay? And it has some applications for men.
So
as
you
well.
put 7 dots in the same space?
Yeah, I'm not going to do that now. So then I would, say to my moxa girl, next, and we would do another one, next, another one, next, in that same spot. Now, some people will say, as soon as you feel the pain, take it off. Okay, so some people will do that. Other people will say, just grin and bear it, just let it do its work, and it'll go deep into the meridian. My first shiatsu teacher, Ohashi, was saved by moxa treatments. He was dying as a baby. He was a Nagasaki baby from the atomic bomb, and he was dying of diarrhea, so the shiatsu practitioner put moxa on his belly to dry up all the diarrhea, dry up the internal organs, and he was saved through this procedure. So this is, much more, remember, this is intervention now. Okay, this really doesn't tonify your organs. The indirect would be more of a tonification than this. This is more symptomatic treatment. And in my book, it shows all the different points and how they can be used for different reasons, okay? This is flaming because we have alcohol on it. And then we would put it inside the cup. That would take all the air out of the cup because the alcohol would burn up the air. So we'd make a vacuum in here, and then that vacuum would pull her skin up, and it would bring blood and energy. Okay? Good, yeah, thank you.
Will it actually bleed?
No, she won't bleed. You could do this with this. It was done with bleeding too, in the old days. So they would actually bleed the person, and then they would bring the waste actually through the blood. Okay, but I'm going to do it another way. Where are those paper towels? Okay, so what I'm going to do is, this is water. Okay? Besides what, watch everybody. This is water, okay? See what I'm doing? Okay, this is paper. This is water. Okay, so I put that here. This is my insurance. So there's a little piece of water there. And then I'm going to make a cone. Vanja, can you get me a bigger cup?
Sure.
So you see what's going to happen? Now I'm going to put this on the paper. Okay, but this is going to be with alcohol. You can come up and watch. Come up and watch. Okay. And where's that bigger cup? No. One of these cups, sir. Oh, yeah, that's a big one. Good. How do you do that thing?
You told me these girls weren't supposed to have peripheral vision.
That's right, you've got peripheral vision. So this is called fire cupping, because we're using fire. So I put that in alcohol here. And I sit this right over here. And can you give me a light? The match? Come on over here, Candace.
Right.
Or go on that side. Go on that side. Before the alcohol goes out, you're going to light that. And go ahead, light it, go ahead.
Oh my God.
The top. The top. And
Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh.
she's the one on the table. You okay? That wasn't the one on the table.
See that?
That was an innocent bystander screaming.
Right here.
You okay? Did you feel some heat?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah?
Oh
Was it
my
uncomfortable?
It's all right.
Okay. So now do you see what happened? So now it...
Wow.
Now this, if you're concerned about a sting, right? A bee sting, a spider, snake bite, do this. This will pull it right out. Okay? So now toxins are coming out through her skin, through her blood. They're being pulled out. So this is not a tonification. This is a sedation or dispersion. Right?
How long do you leave it on there?
Would you leave it like that?
One day.
We're going to leave this on for 2 days. 10 minutes is considered moderate. 20 minutes would be a long time. And so she's getting red. So circulation's going to the area. White blood cells are going to the area. Same thing that happens with moxa. White blood cells go to the area. And so this is the kidney area. This is right over the ureters. This is helping to cleanse waste. You can do this in the lungs. You can do this in different places on the body. Typically there might be 5 or 6 cups. There's a lot of methods for how to do it. If you want to tonify, you put the cups on counterclockwise. If you want to sedate or disperse, you put the cups on more. So 1, 2, 3 clockwise cycles. There's a lot of different methods. They're all based on just bringing blood and chi to the center to get rid of wastes. Okay.
Which was the water and what was the alcohol?
Water's on the bottom to protect her a little bit, right? And then alcohol was on top. We lit it right on top and then put it out right away as soon as you feel a flame. So there is a catalyst with that heat. So that little bit of heat makes the circulation come to the surface and then it gets drawn out. So that's the traditional, with my little addition of safety, fire cupping method. The higher the cup, the more it's going to come out. And now when we put lotion on here, we can do moving cupping. Okay, so we could actually, if I had lotion on here, I could actually move the cup and it would keep that suction. And I'll show you how to do that. And that suction goes wherever I move the cup. So you can really drain any kind of wastes and toxins that are on the surface right out of the body. And massage practitioners are using this a lot now. Cupping is becoming very popular. I'm sure if you read massage magazines, you're seeing a lot of massage people are learning how to do this. They typically don't do the fire cupping. I'll show you what they do. I need some...
There was any other kind that didn't have a fire under it.
You didn't know? Oh, I'll show you.
No, I just thought-
I'm going to need some lotion though. Does anybody have any?
Lotion.
Yeah, some lotion? Yeah, that'd be good. Okay? And you can see, can you look real close? You see the skin's all wrinkled and pulled in there. There's a lot of contraction. That was a very strong cupping effect. There's a lot of heat, and the cup is a big cup. Smaller cup, less suction. It's good to know how to use this. I mean, I hardly ever use this. It's good to know how to use it. You never know if it comes up. You have the skill. All you have to do is once or twice. You'll know how to do it, and you never know, how you're going to use it or when it will come in handy. Okay, and so how do we get the cup off?
You have to break the seal.
You have to break the seal. So we just press down a little bit. And if that doesn't work,
Just pull. You break it.
no, the seal will always break. So she's really got a good suction here. Okay, and they do it in a few places there. Just make sure, right? Oh, nice. Okay.
You got a hickey.
Looks like a stingray bite, huh?
Yeah.
So
Okay, there's some red ointment here somewhere. Do you see a red jar?
Yes.
Yes. This is Shrinkyu ointment. I think there might be a little bit of a burn here, which this will help.
So what should I expect? What kind of blisters or anything major going on there?
Actually, sometimes when you do moxa, you'll get blisters. Some people say it's good to heat blisters. Some people they say it's better to bust it. Other people say it's better to just let it do its course. I tend to let things just take their course. The longer that blister's there, the more that there's white blood cells that are coming to the area.
Did it get real bright?
Yeah, it's good. All right, so your plans. Do you want to be? I don't know if anybody else wants to volunteer. If nobody does, do you want me to do the moving cups on you?
Yeah, that's fine if no one else will.
Does anybody want to do moving cups? There's no burning. There's no burning with this. Okay, so can you bring me those cups over there? Could somebody take this? Okay, and there was a pump here. There it is. Yeah. Okay, and lotion, we'll just use this one. So this is typically how massage therapists are using this now. Where's our lotion?
Right there.
Uh-huh. Would you like to spread a little lotion on Stephanie? Let's get this area here, okay?
Hey Seymour, do we still want the song?
If we can put it out, you would just put it inside the jar and put the lid on it to put it out. So look around for there should be a jar somewhere there. Is there a jar? Oh, I think that jar's in there. No. You can just cut it. If you could just cut it. Yeah, just cut it. Okay, spread some lotion, yes. Good. Okay. Now you could use the fire cupping method in the same way that I'm using this. Okay, folks, you get that? You could, if you really wanted to do more of an extreme movement of toxins, you could use the fire cupping method just the way I'm using this vacuum pump. This is definitely a lot easier. You okay? All right. Can I go a little more?
Sure.
Okay. So, see what happened? Very easy. Is that strange?
Well, yeah.
Good. Get some of their reactions. Look at this. Can you do that? Oh my God. Again? Okay.
It's like a tumor.
Okay. And now you okay? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we move. See how it travels? So the suction travels.
It's like skin rolling.
Oh, this is big time skin rolling. This is a lot more.
It even takes the lotion with it.
It'll take the lotion. See, she's still got suction there. See, so it's pulling, right? It's pulling a lot of wastes and toxins. So this can be really, really effective. If somebody's building up tension, metabolic waste, that's what causes pain. So this can really help to move it. You might want to do like a ginger compress first here, and let's say you were working stuff out in their shoulders, so then their kidneys would all be great, letting go of waste because they've got that ginger compress. The heat's accelerating their filtering of their waste, and then you could do some cupping in this area, moving the toxins out. And you know, if you've got, imagine you're draped and your body's full of lotion, just like you would use your hands in doing a massage, you would just be moving the cup. Okay? Over the
After
legs.
the massage or before?
That could be your massage.
So instead.
Your massage could be, we're going to do a cupping session today. And so you would put on lotion and you would go down the back of their legs, and that's what a lot of people are doing.
The cup in the legs or just in the back?
Everywhere, anywhere, arms, anywhere, front, back. So that's cupping. Go back. And you can see she's definitely getting a lot of circulation, right? I mean, are you going to get that much circulation going with your hands? I think so, right? That would take a lot of work. So people are saying, instead of burning out my thumbs and my hands and doing all this to get blood and energy moving, people are saying, I'm just going to do some cupping. And people feel good after. So it's actually becoming quite popular. Feels okay? As long as there's lotion there, it's usually very relaxing. Okay, and then we break the seal. That's it. So she goes to the beach today People might ask her some questions. Did you run into any leeches? Or
What was my weekend like?
and in traditional times, right, they would actually leech. You know, they would leech. Right, you know that, right? They would actually put a leech on to actually start sucking the blood out. They'd get rid of the leech, and then they would do cupping right after to pull out waste and toxins. And I don't think they really understood about tonification and sedation. They didn't realize that on some types that could really zap a person's energy. And actually by zapping their energy, they wouldn't have the energy to cleanse. But on somebody who's very excess, bigger type, steadfast type, got a lot of buildup, this might be just the perfect scenario for helping toxins to leave the body. Okay. Any questions?
So where would you want to drop it off at? All the circulation, like if you're sucking up lymph and everything.
Yeah.
You want to leave it on a lymph channel?
I would say go, either towards the lymph or towards the kidneys. You're always safe going towards the kidneys. Because these organs are great for getting rid of waste, going down, sending the energy down instead of up. I would tend to go down. I would say that's the safest. I know I think in Western massage you say massage towards the heart. I would say this is the opposite. I understand the theory of that. I would tend to say you're getting a lot of waste going here. Move them down so the energy can go out through the kidneys.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you, say if you were doing like a regular massage first,
Yeah.
would you do that or the cupping at the beginning?
Well, you might just want to relax the person first with a regular massage.
And then do a little
And
bit
do this, but if you did that, then I would say afterwards it's good to do just some energy work, just some hands-on, just some breathing, some even off-the-body work, just really relax them. Okay, it'd be great if they would fall asleep. They're typically not going to fall asleep with that kind of a treatment, although some people who are used to it might. They know it's no big deal and they might just fall asleep. But that would be great if they can fall asleep, because that's when we regenerate and that's when we get rid of all of our waste. So it'd be nice afterwards, after all that stimulation, to hold and do some gentle holding and help them to relax. Okay? Maybe they fall asleep. Okay?
Okay.
Very good.
What about if you were like in the front? Could you like
Do
cup
the
like a
legs?
meridian?
Yeah, you
or
liver.
like liver and then
Yeah.
hands?
Don't do the hara. I wouldn't do that. Not with cupping. It's too much. It's too intense. Generally, I'd say I wouldn't do it. There might be situations.